Suprabhatam friends, welcome to my channel Plants and Me. This is Dr. Sri Devi from Mangaluru, Karnataka, India. I just came back from work and I received a parcel today, my dream parcel. I had ordered two Cymbidiums online from a Facebook seller, and those have come bare root. I opened the parcel actually, so they have come bare root and I need to repot them. I just reached home, but I need to hurry up with the repotting of those orchids because Cymbidium orchid do not like to dry out, so that's why I'll be heading forward for repotting the Cymbidium orchids. I am repotting these Cymbidiums. They have got this lovely, beautiful, huge flowers. I have not opened them yet. Both the plants, they have been sent with this leaf mold. The seller had planted in leaf mold only, but for Mangalore weather, only leaf mold may be a bit dangerous. So look at this pseudo bulbs, very strong. This is old pseudo bulb, these are the new ones. As soon as I received it, I put the same leaf mold, this one, I put it in this and I soaked the roots. Similarly, even this plant, this has got yellow flowers. If possible, I will take a close-up afterwards. This also has been put in that leaf mold. Now I will be repotting them in these 6 inches pot. I have put thermocol at the base. Where is the other pot? I left it inside. So I have put thermocol at the base. Thermocol has got a cooling effect, and at the base they will form a very good drainage. So this is just enough pot. I don't want to take a very big pot because Cymbidiums like to be root bound, and small pot will make them root bound faster. So for the weather in my country, or for the weather in Mangalore, this leaf mold only will be a disaster because it's holding so much water. So I am using leaf mold along with charcoal, equal quantity. Now both these medium, they will make the pot very light, so it might tip each time. I am adding a few thermocol pieces because thermocol pieces keep the medium cool. They hold on to water and they keep the medium cool. And as I was telling, I'll be adding a few brick pieces so that the pot doesn't tip off easily. I'll mix all this This looks like a nice mix, lovely yummy mix. Cymbidium will be really happy. We can add antifungal to this, but in my case it's not necessary because I have added charcoal. A bit of this mud will also go along with the potting mix, but nothing to worry because these are semi-terrestrials. I'll adjust the camera. Yeah. So at the base, thermocol is there for better drainage. We can add a few pieces of, these are tile pieces, nothing special. That will give weight to the pot and it will give drainage also. So I am keeping this plant, and we have to see to it that the plant is positioned at the corner. This is an old pseudobulb. This is the new one. Newer ones will be formed in the front, so that is why keep this at the back, and then we will add the potting mix, leaf mold and charcoal, one layer, and pieces of tile in between. It will give a brick like feeling to the plant, and it will help the plant to put out roots. They love terracotta, so in that they'll get that feeling, and so they will put out roots on that tile piece also. All the time we have to take care that the pseudobulbs, they are above the potting mix. So behind, I think, yes. I was planning to use the leaf mold of my garden, but because the seller sent it along with the plant, I did not have the necessity to go in search of leaf mold in my garden. I have collected all the leaf mold, and I am making it or converting it into compost, leaf compost. So I could have collected from that pot. Yeah. So this is done, but this requires support. I'll just go and see if I can get some sticks. I went in search of stick, but I found these iron rods. So I'll use these iron rods to give stacking to the plant. Till it settles down, this stacking would be necessary. Actually, the seller has tied with this leaf, but I will tie it separately. So this plant is done. The next one now. Oh. Cymbidiums love water, so the potting mix should be moist all the time, but only leaf mold will make the potting mix very soggy. Here also this is the old pseudobulb. There is a stick here that will go behind. Newer ones will come this side. So I forgot to put tile pieces at the base. That's okay. The potting mix should not be, dabbed tight. You should not press it and make it tight, because Cymbidiums like very airy type of potting mix. Yeah, so the pseudobulb should be up, that is above the potting mix. So I am holding it up. I am not pressing, I am just filling the pot. So that's about it. Repotting of Cymbidium is done, or in fact potting of Cymbidium is done. I'll give it a rod stacking. Leaf mold will be a very heavy source of food material for the Cymbidiums. They are heavy feeders. So I'll keep it aside and try to open the flower which have been covered. Look at this beautiful flower. Oh my god. And this is a huge flower. Very huge flower. And it is fragrant also. Look at that. And here we have the yellow Cymbidium. This is Jupiter, it seems. The name is Jupiter. Apt name because this has got this Jupiter like colors. If the plant produces good roots and settles down, it will be easy to take the picture or video of the flowers. Very lovely blooms. Awesome. So as we saw, I have repotted it in leaf mold. That leaf mold was sent by the seller along with the plants. And in wild, Cymbidiums are also epiphytic. Some of them are semi-epiphytic, and they grow on tree trunks. These are heavy feeders, and the leaf mold, that is the dried leaves, it will cater to its nutrition and food. The leaf mold will, it will rot, and then it will become a compost, and that will look after the nutrition of the Cymbidiums. Apart from that, we can also spray NPK 20-20-20 in 1 liter, 5 grams of NPK. It can be given as a foliar spray, and it can also be given into the pot to the roots so that it can absorb. Already leaf mold is there. This is additional nutrition for the Cymbidium, because it's a heavy feeder. We are talking about nutrition, and it's obvious, the flowers, the blooms are so big, so obviously it will take a lot of food for the plant to produce that huge, lovely, awesome flowers. So that was about nutrition. Next, coming to water requirement. Compared to other orchids, these Cymbidiums, they require a lot of water. In fact, they are epiphytes, so they grow on tree trunks, and anyway from the tree trunks they will be absorbing the moisture. And actually the ones which I have got, they are cool growing ones. They require little lower temperature. This is just my experiment to grow them. I have got quite a few cold areas in my garden, so I will be placing them there. But talking about water, they require their potting mix to be moist all the time. Epiphytes also, they put their roots into the tree trunk or tree bark, and they keep absorbing the moisture from there. Similarly, this also, and in the wild they grow on plants which, they, from the bark they can put their roots and absorb moisture. And the potting mix, I'll come to the potting mix later. The light requirement, as all orchids, or like all orchids, this plant also requires filtered light, and because the blooms are big, it will require a little more light. We can give filtered light up to 50%, or we can also, provide it with morning sun, during the daytime morning sun, and afterwards bright indirect light of high intensity, but you should not burn the leaves. So all orchids, because they are epiphytes, they grow in filtered light, and this one requires a little more light, so we can keep it at a place where it gets morning sun, and during the whole day bright indirect light. So that is about the sunlight requirement. So watering is done, sunlight is done, nutrition is done. Now about the potting mix. From the seller whom I bought, he had potted them in pure leaf mold, that is dried pieces of dried leaves, and these dried leaves, they retain a lot of moisture, but to that area, and the leaf mold also keep the potting mix, the leaf mold, they keep the roots cool, but in his conditions that was okay. But here in Mangalore, humidity is more, rainfall is also heavy, so during rainy season the leaf mold will tend to get soggy. As I showed in my video, starting of my video, it retains a hell lot of water. The roots require lot of water, but that the water which was retained in the leaf mold, that was too soggy, so definitely it will lead to root rot. So to avoid that situation, I have used charcoal, because charcoal, whatever water is there, it will absorb, and leaf mold is there anyway, so that will retain the moisture. Apart from that, I added thermocol pieces, those also absorb water and retain moisture. Apart from that, I have added brick pieces. Now these brick pieces, they will give a wall like feeling to the roots of the plant, so they might put roots on these tile pieces also. Apart from that, tile piece will give little weight to the pot. The pot has got a narrow base, so it might tip off any time, so weight is required. So the tiles, they are working in two ways. It is giving weight to the pot, and then it is also allowing the plant to get that wall like feeling on which it can creep and crawl and then grow. These plants, they have got pseudobulbs, that means they are part of the stem where the moisture is retained, and they can be propagated with the pseudobulbs only. I did not separate the pseudobulbs. I want all the pseudobulbs in that one pot, because I want the plant to be bushy, so that over a period of time a lot of inflorescence will be given out, and with huge flowers and huge bushy plant, huge number of flowers will be there, and it will look very beautiful. Then we could have added sphagnum moss, but I avoided it again, because sphagnum moss retains a lot of water, and the root will be exposed to stagnant water inside the pot, and so it might lead to root rot. That's why I avoided sphagnum moss. But otherwise, sphagnum moss is a very good medium for plants which require lots of moisture. But because my district is a district which is near to the seashore, we have a lot of rains, so I do not prefer coco peat, I do not prefer sphagnum moss. That's why I have used charcoal along with the leaf mold. So that is about the potting mix. Otherwise we can put it in coconut chunks or coco peat, sphagnum moss, perlite. These would be the ideal potting mix for Cymbidium in areas where there is not much of rainfall. We have heavy rainfall during rainy season, so I avoided all the medium which retain too much moisture. So that is about the potting mix. And second thought, I think during rainy season I will definitely have to shift this Cymbidium to a place where there is not much, it doesn't get too much of rainwater. I might have to shift. I watered the plant, and I have kept it in shady area. Because of the transit stress, the buds and the flowers, they were a little wilted, not much. But I think by tomorrow or day after, the moisture which is there in the potting mix, that will be absorbed by the roots, and the flowers might regain their shape. So these flowers are also used as cut flowers, it seems, for bouquet. So that is about the Cymbidiums. So I would be waiting for the plant to settle down and produce more pseudobulbs and more branches, or pseudobulbs and leaves. Thanks for joining. Take care. Bye.